Okay, so I went for a walk before I came back to record the audio for this video. I wanted to get the blood pumping and the juices flowing, the creative energy really out there. Really wanted to get this video right. And I have to preface it by saying that I am half black and half white. I'm mixed. And I look kind of Spanish, to be honest with you. That's what I get a lot from a lot of people, weirdly enough. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. I'm walking through this neighborhood, and I can only presume that it's a white neighborhood because I ran into a family who was outside, and I'm a nice person. They have all their toys and stuff set up outside. So I walk into the street and around where they're going. Well, as I'm passing, I hear, I believe it was probably the grandma or something, say, "Pack up your toys. We're going back inside." And I just felt so disrespected. I was hurt. Like, I've never really experienced racism, especially not like that. Maybe like joking around with friends and stuff, those, "Oh, I'm going to tell a black joke. You better be ready for it, blah, say, blah." But I've never experienced actual racism. Now, whether that was actual racism or not, I couldn't tell you for sure. All I know is that she said to pack up your toys. We're going inside. All right, so that was a little quickie for you. And I just wanted to say this before we get too deep into the video. If you like my channel, or if you've been around here before, if you find it off a link or, whatever, if you like this content, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Every bit of that is very much appreciated. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this video. All right, so today we're continuing the California arc, and you don't have to watch the first video to understand it, but if you want to see it, it's going to be on the little info bubble at the top right of your screen. So with that being said, let's go ahead and introduce another character into the anime. And this person's name is Thomas. Now, Thomas was a very, I don't want this to sound creepy because he wasn't a special friend, but a very good friend. I don't know, I was thinking about saying special friend. It just makes it sound weird. I wanted to apologize really quick. It's gonna sound a little choppy today because I'm recovered from COVID. Like, I get a negative test, but I still get the shortness of breath. So I don't want you guys to have to listen to me taking deep breaths after almost every sentence that I say. So Thomas was a good friend of mine all the way through. What is it? Know that other places call it other things. I grew up in California. We called it elementary school, and that was first grade through sixth grade. And I met Thomas in first grade. Well, the year is 2003 at this point, and I didn't know what Pokemon was at the time. And he just so happened to have a copy of the brand new Ruby and Sapphire games. And later in 2004, he got Fight Red and Leaf Green. And he let me borrow the cartridges one time because I'd just gotten the Game Boy Advance. The ones with they didn't even have the backlight in them yet. We weren't even that advanced back then, but I still loved that thing. I would have to go outside on like a perfectly sunny day just to be able to play it, or have like a lamp right next to me. It's probably why I'm blind, come to think of it, just to play the damn Game Boy Advance. And that's the one that I had. So he let me borrow Ruby. I think it was Ruby. Yeah, it was Ruby. I remember Groudon. He let me borrow Ruby, and he was the one who gave me my affinity for the Pokemon series. Now, I know a lot of people are just in love with Pokemon, and I'm probably not as in love with Pokemon as a lot of other people. I can't tell you what a Pokemon is just by its cry or anything crazy like that, but I love Pokemon. And I played through all of the main series games to include Sword and Shield, and I'm really hoping that they make a Diamond and Pearl remake next year. That would be amazing, but I'm still getting off topic. So let's get back to Thomas, shall we? So the reason I was telling you all this is because I fell in love with Pokemon at like first sight. I started collecting cards after that. I started kind of turning away from Yu-Gi-Oh, which I'm going to probably go into another story next week about my affinity for Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's next week. So Thomas was awesome. And I say that because he was the one who introduced the gang pretty much, which will be introduced to, when you walk home or you're walking somewhere and you're on the phone or you're telling a story to somebody else, and it's like an hour away, which the school wasn't that far away. It was about 15-20 minute walk. But from the start, he would start telling a story just about random stuff. And all of a sudden, we were just back at the house. Like, it seemed like 2 minutes had passed, and we were already back at the house. Like, he was like a time traveler. It was crazy. We would instantly get home after school. It was awesome. And he introduced me to that, which I still used all the way up to high school because I lived 30 minutes away from my high school. And my parents could never get there to pick us up. They got off work at, I believe, 5:30, and my family wasn't rich enough to buy me a car, even though I wish they did. But I did get my license at 16, so I was able to drive some other people's cars. And again, different story. I keep getting off topic. Anyways, Thomas was a good friend, as you already know. And the reason I keep bringing that up is because I did a big no-no. So in 2004, in second grade, he got the Pokemon Leaf Green. And I had wanted that game. My parents didn't give me the game, so I kind of took matters into my own hands. Well, when I say into my own hands, I mean I took the game cartridge into my own hands. I just took the game. Steal is a big word, and I don't want to say that I stole it because he has let me borrow games before, and he told me that he had already beaten it, and he was pretty much done with it. He wanted to go back to Rui. So one day it just disappeared from his house. Well, that's not even the crazy part, because in my little second grade mind, I thought it was a good idea to bring the game back after I beat it and say that I had found it in the gutter, lying on the street. And I had went into so much detail that his mom was just sitting there, standing there, like, does this kid really think that I'm going to believe anything that he said? I went into so much detail. I was like, it was about to rain. I didn't know what to do. I dove onto the game. I saved it from going into the sewage pipes and everything like that. Like, I was just telling a fantastic story, probably better than Homer's Odyssey, to be honest with you. And it was at that point that I was not allowed to go over to Thomas's house anymore. So, I mean, me and Thomas were still friends for the most part. Like, we would hang out at school and stuff, but I wasn't allowed to go over to his house for 2 years. I think about 2 years I wasn't able to go. And then he had to go in a away party. I apologized for taking the game without permission, and all was well. He ended up moving. I think he moved to Kentucky or something like that, just to be closer to his grandparents. I can't remember exactly where he moved, but that was the end of Thomas. And I just thought you guys might like the story, the first time that I had taken something without permission. I don't do it very often, and it's usually as a joke, like I'll take someone's phone or something like that. I'm not a thief, but I really loved Pokemon, and I really wanted to play through Fire Red and Leaf Green. And I ended up getting Leaf Green, and I ended up choosing Bulbasaur. So that being said, I did want to tell you guys about an idea that I had, and I want to start putting it on the channel just so that I can have videos more often. See, there it is. I am taking deep breaths like crazy because the shortness of breath stays with you for, I don't know, some people are reporting it for like months after, and I'm scared of that because that means I can't even work out anymore. I can only go on walks, and I'll do push-ups and sit-ups. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So the idea that I had was I wanted to start a Pokemon Nuzlocke of Leaf Green. And I will, of course, be using Bulbasaur. He's not my favorite Pokemon. And Charizard might be my favorite starter. But Charizard has just had too much time in the spotlight. And I think it's time for Bulbasaur and Venusaur to really get into that spotlight. And so I'm going to pick Bulbasaur, and then the rules are going to be just like any other Nuzlocke. If any Pokemon faints, it's considered dead. I had to put it in a box or release it or whatever. And I can only catch the first Pokemon on each route. And if it faints or flees, then it doesn't matter. I can't try again. And then there was one other thing. It was I can't remember. Oh, if I run into the same species of Pokemon that I've already caught, I can take one more attempt to find another Pokemon on that route. So I thought that that would be really fun just to have the nostalgia. I haven't played Leaf Green in almost 5 years now. That's crazy. And yeah, I mean that's the plan. That's what I want to do. Just to be able to upload on the channel a little bit more often, and it's not going to take up too much time. I think it would be relatively easy. And I mean that's about it. See ya.